Brother lads, welcome back to Cossy Podcast. My name is Cossy. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are in all parts of the world. Welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to a brand new video. We're going to be diving into the latest around Arsenal. Fabrizio Romano has confirmed that Arsenal are optimistic and very confident that an agreement between them and Brentford is now on the cusp. £30 million is what the two clubs have actually agreed on, and we're going to be looking into that deal that Matt Turner will be doing to Nottingham Forest, because it's going to be a very important one, according to Romano, in getting David Raya over to the Arsenal carpet. Florian Balogun, Inter Milan have come in very strong. They're back strong and very confident to get the deal done. €35 million is what they have offered Arsenal, and talks are intensifying as we speak. So a lot is going to happen in this month. A lot is going to happen in the next coming weeks. I don't know why we didn't do a lot of sales and a lot of deals in July, and we waited until August, but it's going to be fun. Hit the like button, subscribe to the podcast as well. I have a question for you in the comment box below. If Arsenal get that €35 million from Florian Balogun, one, is it enough? I mean, let me know. Is it enough for Florian Balogun, a player, a striker who is 21, scored 22 goals last campaign in the French League 1, and is now highly rated as one of the best prodigies, one of the best projects to be on the market on the forward line. We know Inter Milan will mold him into a good striker. We know Inter Milan will make him into a monster of a player. Do you think Arsenal are getting a fair price for Florian Balogun? But the bigger question is, where should we invest that money in terms of a striker? Now, Lautaro Martinez could be available for a little bit above 35, probably 45, €50 million could get the deal done. I'm not really sure which other strikers are available on the market. Like, it is so dry. Vlahovic is another one we could talk about, probably 50 to 60 million euros. Juventus are really frustrated with him. They could actually get him out of the door. Do you think Arsenal should be thinking in that direction as we get that money for Florian Balogun? Let me know in the comment box below. Hit the like button and let's get the action started. Now, the big story comes in from two of the biggest lions in terms of transfers, especially with Arsenal. That is David Ornstein and Fabrizio Romano. Fabrizio says that Arsenal are very confident and very optimistic that the deal for their man David Raya is getting done. So he says Arsenal are optimistic and confident to reach an agreement with Brentford for David Raya after a bid was submitted on Thursday. Raya wants to join Arsenal. He is insisting that the deal should happen. That is what he's actually put out. David Ornstein, just a couple of hours ago, has also put out something very interesting. He says that they expected, the Athletic, they expected that the bid that was made by Arsenal was expected to be turned down, but that actually is not the case. The bid has not been turned down, and it looks like it has been a conversation starter. It has been more of a lubricant. It's been more of a catalyst to the conversation rather than a hindrance. Brentford feel Arsenal are not far away from where they are. Arsenal are not very far away in terms of valuation, and therefore they've decided not to reject that bid. So it's very, very interesting what is actually going on with this story. But what I have actually, what I've picked out from that David Ornstein update is that the two clubs are now sorting out the finer details. That actually speaks a lot, and that actually brings out a lot what is going on the deal. One, the bid was not rejected. Two, it is now 24 hours ever since Arsenal made that initial bid. And three, the clubs are discussing finer details. It doesn't say final, but it says finer details. Whatever that means, that bid was not rejected. And I never expected Arsenal to get any disappointments from Brentford. Hey, they wanted 40 million. We've gone in with 23. They know they're not going to get 40. They will only get 30. It was only about, it was only going to be, can we find a compromise? Can Brentford come up from where they are? And can Arsenal also maybe stretch a little bit from 23 to probably 28 or 29 or 30? So according to Fabrizio Romano and David Ornstein, both clubs feel 30 million is what is going to be enough to get the deal done. So the fee is now in consensus. We have an agreement on the fee. There are going to be a couple of problems. There are going to be a couple of talking points on the final package. Probably what the add-ons will include. Probably How much of that money is going to be paid in installments? How many installments are going to be done across what period of time, and things like that. Now we know Arsenal are very hard to negotiate with these days. We always have those very hard add-ons. We always have those long intervals and installments. So it's always some kind of chaos. It's always some kind of hell to deal with Arsenal. But I think that on the positive side, it is. It's been done within a week. I mean, it's a deal that Brentford have literally dragged on for 2 months, and now Arsenal have just come in and we've given them a way out. We've just given them a simple solution: 30 million. You go find a new goalkeeper. By the standards of Brentford, I will be shocked if they sign a goalkeeper above 20 million. I think they will go for a goalkeeper minimum 10 million, maximum 15 million. They've just made 15 million profit on the guy. It's a good deal. It's a win-win situation for me between Arsenal and Brentford. So that price, 30 million, you expect to be, you expect a couple of talks to be done around it. Probably Arsenal going, we want to pay this money across 3 years. And then Brentford saying, no, it should be 2 years. It should be 1.5 years. But David Raya seems like he's going to be heading to that Arsenal carpet. Now, in terms of the domino effect, in terms of helping this deal get done, according to Fabrizio Romano, Arsenal have received a formal offer for goalkeeper Matt Turner from Nottingham Forest today. And he's saying that this is an exclusive. Nottingham Forest have submitted an offer for Matt Turner officially, an official bid. He understands that the proposal has been made for a permanent transfer, and talks are advancing with Arsenal. Crucial step in goalkeeper's domino as Arsenal keep negotiating with Brentford for David Raya, and the deal is getting closer. So that is according to Fabrizio Romano. This man, 29 years of age, Matt Turner, is going to be heading over to Nottingham Forest, and then the deal will be closed for Matt Turner. For David Raya. Now, it kind of feels like Arsenal have done an ingenious in the market. It is very, very clever of us. We are going to get around 15 million euros for the sale of David Raya, and we're going to get that same money, place it onto the table of Brentford, add a few add-ons on top of that, probably money that will come from the sale of maybe Rob Holding, maybe Pepe. It will depend, and after that, we will get a much better goalkeeper. This is genius business. This is very good business. Like, literally, we've just used a low-class goalkeeper to get a much better goalkeeper. Just imagine having David Raya and Aaron Ramsdale compete with each other. Yet the previous season, you had Matt Turner and Aaron Ramsdale competing with each other. It is a maximum spike in quality. It is a maximum increase in ability, and it's also a maximum increase in future prospect for sales. So if we were to sell Ramsdale in the future, that is above 40 million. If we were to sell David Raya in the future, that is above 40 million as well. Now, I've been told, and I've heard that I've not been told, I've really heard that it could be that David Raya has been promised that he will come in at Arsenal. He will fight for his place, and he will be given a fair fight. So he's gonna be given some kind of clean slate with Aaron Ramsdale. Whatever happens, David Raya will become Arsenal's number one if he beats Aaron Ramsdale to the spot. But also, David Raya will be promised the fact that if a bigger move comes in, if a big move comes in, if a good move comes in, and he's really not contented with being maybe the number of games that he's playing at Arsenal, maybe with being subordinate and number two to Aaron Ramsdale, he will be left to go. It's for me pure genius business, very genius business. Matt Turner probably signed for Arsenal for around 2 or 3 million euros. Now Arsenal are going to make a profit of around 10 million euros on Matt Turner. But then we will reinvest that money on David Raya. who, for me, will eventually leave Arsenal because he's the older goalkeeper. I expect him to leave eventually, and Ramsdale will stay. So we are going to reinvest that money on David Raya, who is a much better goalkeeper, who will provide competition to Ramsdale, who will make Ramsdale a much better goalkeeper. It is genius business. Absolutely genius business. But then I also think that Matana, this is going to be a kind of move that he always wanted and a kind of move that he always deserved as a player. One, you want to be playing every single week. I think he's a very good goalkeeper for the USA. He's a very good goalkeeper for the US national men's team. But he's not getting enough game time to keep him fit, to keep him match fit, and also to guarantee him a starting spot every single time the US play. So if he goes to Nottingham Forest, I kind of feel like Stephen Cooper is that traditional manager. You're either my number one or you're going to rot on the bench. So he's going to have a clear fighting chance. He's going to have a clear fighting opportunity for that number one spot at Nottingham Forest. We saw what Keylor Navas did when he actually came in goal. He was marvelous. He was purely, very, very good. So if Matana can go there and establish himself as their number one, if he can go out there and become a very good competitor to Dean Henderson, who actually for me is a very, very good goalkeeper as well, I can see him become a regular goalkeeper at Nottingham Forest. So Forest will be getting a very good goalkeeper in Martana. Arsenal will be getting good money, and we'll be getting a good goalkeeper in David Raya. And Raya will be getting a dream club, a dream move to a bigger club like Arsenal. And Martina will be getting regular game football at regular game time at Nottingham Forest. Looks to me like a win-win. Like, it just sounds like a win-win. But let's talk about what is not a win-win. It is Florin Balogun to Inter Milan. Now, Inter Milan have actually come back for the services of Florin Balogun, and it looks like this time they are very serious and they want to get the deal done. However, there is a problem in this deal. And the problem is that Balogun is valued at around 40 to 45 million by Arsenal. However, potential suitors, Inter Milan, value him at 35 million euros, including add-ons. So this is what Alfredo Di Paola has put out. Inter Milan are back strong for first choice striker Florin Balogun and have intensified talks with Arsenal. Inter plan to close the deal for 35 million euros. That is less than 30 million pounds. Inter Milan plan to close the deal for 35 million euros, add-ons included, with talks now moving forward and intensifying with Arsenal Football Club. I don't know, but I'm very dissatisfied. I'm very, very dissatisfied with that kind of amount. I don't understand why our players are undervalued, and when someone tries to sell us a player, they overvalue the player. Inter Milan have to understand that this is not an orphanage. This is not an asylum house. It is a football club with a proper footballing academy, and that academy costs a lot of money, and therefore we have got to make serious money on the sale of our players. Seriously. However, we might not have a lot of choice in this deal. The problem with such deal is that Inter Milan are looking to make about 30 to 40 million in the future on the sale of Florin Balogun. So literally, they will try to press Arsenal as much as they can. They'll try to make sure that they get the most amount of money from the sale of the player in the future. And also, we do not have a striker. So the first question, should we be selling Florin Balogun? Now, one thing I've seen with Mikel Arteta is very, very easy and very clear. You're either in his plans or you're actually not in his plans. It's as simple as that. He's one of those managers that do not have compromises. He's one of those managers that don't have soft spots for a player that actually is not in his heart. You're either on his bot or you are a pirate. So at the moment, Florian Balogun is actually viewed as a pirate at Arsenal. I'm sorry, he's a pirate. And 35 million euros for a pirate is very good money. If Arsenal can still go and get another signing, remarkably, in this window, probably Eliawahi would be a good deal. I mean, I've had Chelsea meandering around. I've seen entering Frankfurt meandering around. Now, the fact that they've lost Daichi Kamada, it means that they will be trying to sign in some kind of guy in that position. I think Arsenal could also fix themselves in there. But Lautaro Martinez, like I said, 40 to 45 million euros. If Arsenal can add that extra 10, it would be a very, very good deal. Why don't we do a swap deal with Inter Milan? They take Balogun, we bring in Lautaro Martinez. I mean, first choice. They need him, we need him. But that 35 million euros is I don't know if it will depend really. If Arsenal feel they can get more money from the sale of Balogun, clubs like Southampton, clubs like Brighton, Crystal Palace are interested, but do they have the money? I mean, everyone wants Balogun. Even Luton Town would want Balogun, but it's gonna be about the budget. Do they have the budget to negotiate? Do they have the budget to talk about signing him? If they don't have that kind of budget, I don't see how it works. I clearly don't see how it works. But anyway, we'll be talking much about Balogun in the next show because I will be trying to propose a swap deal between Balogun and Lautaro Martinez. And we will see how that actually goes down. See you right in the next one.